Hello, it's Rafael Gutierrez. Welcome to our channel. Today I'm going to talk about a couple things, and I'm going to end with the interview that I did when I was last in Okinawa, which was about a year ago. The reason I actually didn't put it out earlier was because I figured it was more of a historic aspect for my style of martial arts, Shogun-ryu Karate. That's actually, it's a style I trained under with Tamaki Sensei, and it really gave me a little bit of the history of Shogun-ryu, and it gave me more of an understanding of who Tamaki Sensei really was, my late teacher. Now, Tamaki Sensei was always, when I met him, to me, he was soft-spoken, gentle, a great teacher who would not hold back. He would teach you everything he could as fast as he could. Now, I had actually the honor of training with him. I think it was 3 times, and each time it was about a month-long training. And so about 3 months. And every time I trained, I could tell he wanted to teach me more, but I hadn't gotten the basics that he wanted me to do. Later on, I actually spent 3 months in Okinawa, and I trained under the people I'm training with. I trained under Tamaki and Tokashiki Sensei, and they awarded me my third dan at that point, and later on they awarded me my fourth dan. Now, when I actually interviewed him, and I found more about Tamaki Sensei. Now, the reason I didn't publish it is, like I said, I figured most people probably wouldn't be too interested in understanding what happened and why Shogun-ryu started as a style on its own. So I kept it pretty much in my collection. Now, what happened recently is I was watching a movie called Looking for Mr. Miyagi. As any karateka, when you hear Miyagi, you think of the Karate Kid, and you figure, hey, why not, right? So I watched it, and I really enjoyed it. And I thought the gentleman who made it did a great thing with it, and it's something that really would help any martial artist, or actually any karateka or any other martial artist, because it actually came out with a lot of things. For instance, he wanted to get his black belt before he was 50, and it showed the process he went to actually get to that level. And what happened, whether he achieved what he wanted or not wasn't the important thing. It was a path that he actually took. I'm actually a big fan of Joseph Campbell. I love his quotes. And one of the things that reminded me of the whole idea of the warrior's quest. It doesn't matter if the warrior actually finishes, if they manage to succeed at the end, it's a trial. I mean, and what he actually gains from it. Now, if you gain something, even if you don't reach your ultimate goal, you can still be successful and get something out of it. If anyone who reads may have read the Old Man of the Sea and realizes at the end of the book, the old man is exhausted. He doesn't manage to get the fish whole that he wanted, but he still had the adventure. He still was a hero, and so that's one of the big things that I actually found with watching that video. And like I said, the other thing was that I could realize that it's not important if it's my style or someone else's. A lot of times we share a lot of different things, whether it's Okinawan karate, Japanese karate, Taekwondo, MMA. All the martial arts do have things that really unite them. And there are some people who try to separate, but the truth is, the more you separate, the farther you are from the core of your martial art. It's, to me at least, it seems. For some people, it's like they try to bring it in too much, and again, if you bring too much, you get farther away from what you really are intending to do. And so there is that one idea of being in balance with, you're following one style, but you also have to look at what you're doing, what other people are doing, and make what you do work for you. He didn't mention that, that's my words. And I actually also started thinking of other things. One of the things I actually thought about was the uniform. And a lot of times I talk about the uniform. And I really started thinking of it with kids. A lot of times, people are doing martial arts and they remove the uniform. They think they remove the uniform, but they still keep a type of uniform. They might take a t-shirt and special pants. They might take, just the boxing shorts. These are uniforms. And here's the funny part. It's like if you ever watch Joseph Campbell, he has actually a quote that is, when you put on a uniform, you become another creature. The idea is, when you put on the karate uniform, you're no longer just a person who is, walking the streets and doing things. You put on that uniform, you are now a karateka. It doesn't matter if you're a white belt or a ninth degree black belt with 70 years experience. The whole idea of putting on the uniform makes you someone different. When you take it off, you go back to your normal life sometimes, but you keep some of the stuff with that. And so I actually started thinking of that, and I also started thinking of the idea of, you know, the whole idea of the adventure of going through karate. Is it important to get the highest belt you can possibly get? Well, that's up to the individual to find out. But the journey, that's actually like again, what Joseph Campbell would have called the serendipitous adventure. The journey of going through all the motions, learning, seeing what you don't know, getting better. You can't really cheat yourself in martial art. You can't cheat in martial arts. You can cheat yourself. You can claim that you're more than you are, but at the end of the day, if you can't throw a punch, well, what's that really saying? If there are some people who, think that they know certain things. Well, if you can't prove that you know the stuff, you might be happy, but at the end of the day, you need something a little more concrete. And so, there are different ways people do this. Sometimes tournaments, sometimes MMA. For me, it's actually going to injury reports and finding out what injuries can happen and how, and then recreate them using my kata. Now, there's actually a lot I actually want to talk about, and I did actually write a couple notes. But the big thing I wanted to do is pretty much show the video for those who are interested in how sometimes these splits in martial arts happen. And I hope that everyone enjoys this, and it's not something that will upset anyone. So with that, I will put the interview. I hope the sound is good. Have a nice day. Okay. I guess I'll just say something to the camera and then edit out the conversation right now. Hi, this is Rafael Gutierrez. Today I'm actually here with Tamaki Sensei from Shogun Ryu Karate. He is in actually quite a few books. He's one of the people who really introduced karate to the world. And I was going to have him ask him some questions, and hopefully I'll get him to talk more about himself. And so one of the first questions I would like to ask is, who was your most influential teachers? Is there a reason why?
誰が一番玉木さんにカルチャーのあれを影響を与えてた？
やっぱり長野先生ですよね、最初の影響はね。それからまた先生がどんどん変わっていくから。長野先生たち空手はやっぱり強くなりたいというふうになったし、それで見に行って、それからして、学生時代ずっと3年間、学生時代だったんですよ。3年間ですね。
長峰先生、he wanted to be strong. He training for India high school.
Yeah, actually, as you mentioned high school, I remember there was a picture I saw with him. I think he said he was 15 at the time, and it was Shoshin Nagamine, Tawa Sensei, and he was sitting in the front. I was wondering if you could tell us something about that picture, what it's about.
No, not good. Stop.
I'll let it out.
Okay. 玉木さんが玉木先生、これから長峰先生と一緒に長峰先生の本とかこれから後に出された辞典、大きな辞典っていうんですか、そんなのが載ってますけど、それのこの写真の長峰さんとの写真のどういった経緯か説明してください。
そうですね、これは僕らずっと先生が本作るときに観光団やってたんです。沖縄県内の初めの同じから観光の人に見せるために毎日稽古じゃなく空手にしてたから、その時に先生がその終わった後とかに本書いてるから、でこの型をやってごらんって言って、先生も全部だから細かいところ分からない、この専門にやって僕の場合は8歳やってたから8歳で僕の見て先生も8歳のあれは全部。
if child went to the Sensei, issued the book, then Nagamini Sensei, he don't know everything, but he do the Pasai Kata, he do complementary. That's why he called this one. That's why that's all the big that.
あの本に載ってる写真は、でもあれは止まってることだから、どうやってあれ、サイト、拷問やってからね、あと、ティファーやる人いなかったから、ティファーのあれを持って写真。
When that time, that's all Japanese food stuff. They were showing to the kata and the ball and so far. That's why that picture.
で、空手辞典にあるのは、新田さんがこの編集してるから、じゃあ執筆したりしてから、少林拳にもやってるから、僕らもずっと前から、先生のタートルの本を書くときから新田さんもずっと知ってるから、それで、僕、
And then what there was something dictionary picture. They have one connection to the Shinza Sensei. That's why.
Actually, I saw a video of you back in 1984 where you were teaching under Shoshin Nagamini, and I know that you were on the board of Matsubayashi Ryu and Shogun Ryu. Do you mind talking or telling us a little bit about it?
1984年の長峰さんが教えてるビデオを見て、これからまた松林の表現上の役になりましたね。で、この職務についてちょっと話してもらいます。
松林流の長峰道場では、僕は理事長だったんです。僕は3代目理事長。一番最初は中村正義先生が1代目、2代目が私、で3代目で、タオさんの会社に行って、一緒に行動するようになって、で、先生が亡くなったから、高吉が帰ってきて、平とかあるのに、真摯に指摘されて、僕らがいない間に理事会に入れて、タオさん一人行ったんですよ。これはずっと、私説明しなくていい。
And when Nagamine Sensei, he got sick in Australia. And he sad digital meaning Nagamine Sensei, next to Tamaki Sensei. They do when Nagamine Sensei passed away, then Nagamine in first time Nakamura Sensei, and the second is Maki. It's third time with Tamaki Sensei. Then he will continue to the number two, but Tamaki Nagamine Sensei passed away. Takayoshi come back. Then Takayoshi and Makishi, they talk to okay, that's okay. And Nagamine Sensei passed away, and president for Tamaki Sensei, right? They do the control or organization. But that's why Takayoshi come back to Okinawa, the Makishi and Thailand, they discuss, and then they go to something that,
急に会議開いてから、
they have a meeting. They don't know. Tamaki Sensei they don't know, but they make a meeting in the board, they don't stay. They decide. That's why they Tamaki Sensei, so Sensei, you saw the video, right? Yeah, he got introduced something. That's why the story like this. Okay, you're going to
Yeah, I fixed it. Yeah. I guess the last one, I'd actually just ask him if there's anything he would like to talk about himself or his life in karate or anything he would like to talk about to let people know. Like you said, we have a lot of history. He's in the old books, he's in the new books.
これまで玉木さん空手してきて本に載ったりビデオに出たりいろんなものがありますけど、空手してきた人生に、長い修行だと思いますけど、それに対して少しの何か感想があれば一つ述べて。
そうですね。僕もだから前にも話してる時に言ったら空手バカだと言われてお互いやりましたけど、だからもうずっと人生のなんか仕事のやってる途中でも空手のことを考えて、この歩き方とかいろいろ考えて、空手に役立つ方法を考えて、練習以外の時間で。
When he started karate, not only dojo, his karate is right. He walking time and breaking time, walking. How to make more technique. That's why I tell him he needs karate training, right? Karate means karate training, right? They're talking about always talking karate.
だからこれしかないような人生。
He's right. He almost 50 years. Almost 50 years. He is not satisfied. He needs more something.
Actually, if there's anything else you would like to mention about his history, any people he would want to talk about, I think people would like to hear.
空手について、今度は自分の考えじゃなくて、今から習う人、これから今やってる人に対しての何か感想を。
やっぱりあれですね、僕はずっと観察してて、最初はやっぱり型から入っていくんですよね。順序だけ言うんですよね。型やったら後の細かい技とかいうのが自分で練習しないとできないんですよね。考えてやる。
He thinks, he going to teach you first time kata, right? It means the base. But it's kata is anybody can do kata. But find out yourself, right? How to, how to make it more comfortable. That's why it's if you can see the technique, you can do it. It's not technique, right? Right. He showed with the technique. That's what you saw the one time. You can do it. It's not technique. Right. That's why he said, no secret. Almost 50 years he did the karate. Then he created, like that. That's why not only you do training, not only dojo, but house. When you do one, you have time.
So he started from when he was 15, right?
15歳くらい
or younger.
15歳から。
15.
See, that's my dad. Right now he's
76, 77.
77.
Over 50 years.
Right.
だからこの空手師とか考え方もさ、 要するに、僕もヘルニアって言われたんだよ。
今、ヘルニ
アって言われてたんだけど、でそれも注射打ったりしてから、病院でやれとして、注射打ったら、この引き伸ばしもやったんですよ。で治らんさね、これはちっては。で、自分でこの歩き方をこう、逆に言うと、歩くときもこうひねるんですよ。こういうひねり方したら、こっちに上に上がってくる力が、こっちでパンとしまう。力一緒で考えて、
He mentioned something about hernia.
hernia. Then
もう全然
he got to the hospital injection to over is not very good. That's why she try to
もう大きな衝突力このあれと一緒。これだってこうするとこっちにこすると一番これは分かるはず先生だからこっちでこの人回るからこうするとねよくバランスが取れるんじゃないかと思ってからに。
You know, you doctor, right?
ヘルニアが。
So that way, don't get back pain too.
That's why he does he fixed it. He covered it for his son. Right?
Yeah, it's no, he has a really, like I said, long history in books from when was Essence of Okinawa was the 70s, right? When Essence of Okinawa got to Okinawa? That book came out in the 70s, right?
It's the 70s?
これだから相当前から僕らだから
これいつぐらいですか？
これ最初のあれが後ろのって昭和の50年。
50年。1950. 1950.
The picture from 1950.
1950.
Oh,
昭和50年。
昭和50年。
ちょっと待って。
合ってる？
昭和50年。何年？
何かあるんだよ。
Pick a birthday.
19... 昭和50年。
これに電話をかけました。
昭和50年って言ったら。
Doing weird things, not letting me, click on the number. Actually, if you can write the number on 19.
昭和。Yes, ma'am.
言語を
できればね、これ70年もっとよね。No. I go on to 1948 だから。Yes, ma'am. 1970年代だよね。Maybe 1970.
1970?
こっちからから、
いや、生産できない。
これに
It's actually 40 years ago, over 40 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, okay, はい。あ
So 1974, about 1970.
1970年。
30年だから、これ今にあれでしょ、まだまだ先。あ、そんなもんかな。
海洋博後海洋博前だよ。ずっと前だよ。
海洋博よりは
前。
どうかな。
69年。70年ぐらい。だけど、昭和50年って言ったら、昭和50年って言ったら、昭和63年で終わってるんですよね。63年。
63年、平成です。
平成63年。
13年。
63年。13年。29か。
これ何これ
29年。
平成は
42年前。
そんなもん。
42 years ago.
42 years ago.
42 years ago.
That's not acceptable, right?
1970?
1970? It was 1970?
42
years ago. Okay, so it would be 1974.
1974. 1970.
So it's one thing that is interesting that is pretty much he has a documented history of over. Well, he has a picture of when he was 15. So he has pretty much a documented history since. What would it be? When he was 15, it was 6.
No, 77.
So it would be. Well, the picture that I saw with him in high school, he was 15. He said, right?
玉木さんの15歳の写真があります。本人が書いて
あれに乗ってあれは17歳かな。前の俺が乗ったのがさ、藤波が。
So no, what's interesting is it's a documented history in karate for over 60 years.
これも平成で書かれてる。
I think
これが高校3年かな。52年が1977年だから、1975年なんです。
1975.
これ。
Yeah, that's a
これが、
that was
高校、してるかな、してないのかな。これ、何年と書いてある？見える？この黒板に書いてある。昭和の元旦のものだ。黒板にある字は。黒板の。これは。天眼鏡という。
Yeah, that's a picture that I remember. Just out of curiosity, can you talk about that picture? What actually happened?
It's New Year.
Oh, it's a
New Year celebration. That's why I'm saying that.
Oh. And he was 15 in that picture.
15 or 16.
15 or 16. Yeah, so it's seeing how you said he's 77?
No, 77.
77? So 77, if he was 16 in that picture, we're talking about no, more. If he's 77, he was 16 in that, we're talking about 60, 61 years experience documented. And, you know, I don't think many people are going to can say they have 61 years experience, which they can find throughout history books.
Yeah, that's why he do on the karate, right? And few times he opened the dojo.
Mm-hmm.
He teaching.
だからこの練習の方法というのは、さっきの説明さんね、見せた方がいいな。最初はやっぱり準備力が言いましたよね。後からもこの技を一つ一つを練習してみると、動きが分かる。僕がさっき言ったように、こういう動きでも違うわけさね。だから、この手もこういうのをゆっくり練習しない。この人で分からんけど、こうしてゆっくりすると分かりやすくなる。
You said, don't dash for it. Check it yourself.
So training to make sure.
If you do it slow, you can do it.
Makes the videos how happy to move thank you for teaching me, and thank you for letting me interview. I figure it's something that a lot of times, like you said, people don't know the history. History tends to be, when people write their own history, they change it. What's nice is being able to see that there is we can find the content for reality.
I think it's his history. His whole life, right? Yeah. だから、この空手やってる人が、この先生が大学変われば、あれはみんな変えてるのが多いんだって。
何が
型じゃなくて、この
名称
ラインを。ラインはこうやってるよ。長期だったら、次誰がこう来たらこう来たら、ラインが変わってくるの多い。だから、いっぱいでもたくさん多いっていうから、それは、玉木さんが一番よく知ってるんだけど、そういうことも、みんな、いつメイクするというのラインフィクション、フェイクライン。
だから必ずこの人がいるわけよ。自分がなりたいのがいるからね。
That's why somebody want to do tactical, right? But here's, now, it's Matsubayashi de Nagamine Sensei, Taro Sensei, so there was a Tamaki Sensei.
Yeah, no, what's really interesting is you can see that, you don't have to document it, but it's documented by other people. So it makes it more interesting.
That's why you can show a book or you can talk.
だからこの空手からしている人全部今日ディスカッションしてみると全部意見自分が思ってることも違うし相手が思ってる違うからそれはみんな自分がいいのを取ればいいんじゃないかなそういう吸収してくれば自分のものになる。
Tamaki Sensei teaching. Definitely. But that's your choice. It's good mind, your choice. Anybody can this way. They're going to teach you. But if you do, your choice.
この裸になってやるというのもあれです。この自分が裸になってやるというのもこの筋肉の動きとかこうしていくのがでこっち今この方向さこっちが解説でやることが分かってくる。おいお疲れ様ご苦労さん。だからそういう鏡見ながら自分の練習しないといけない。
Something. But he can show you how to do it.
There's some bucks that you can find.
But, in the way I read, you cannot see. massive walking.
Like I say, I'm going to cut down some. But thank you. Too long.
You, then I like
show next project.
All right.
Hey, oh, hey.